children, and she was beaten for saying no. So it's almost like on instinct, as a black person, you had to, or it was almost like it's just natural, you just do it. As in now we have things where we just automatically do without thinking. As back then, it was around the time of slavery, so you automatically looked to the white man as higher power and higher authority, so you automatically gave them a higher title and served them with your all.
Well, I think today we interpret the word obedient a lot differently than they did a long time ago. Like, even today you have to, obey your boss or whatever, but when a black man says obedient, humble servant to, the president or, a white man of high power back then, you had to say that. And this, I think it's interpreted differently today because not many people, go out with, your most obedient, humble servant to a lot of people,
No, but
May I ask about any textual evidence for something? For people that have talked a bunch of modern examples, but not many textual examples.
I mean, with the modern example, it's just like saying if a white guy wrote this, he'd be more respected if a white guy wrote this letter to the president, not than this black guy. Just like now, if a white guy did it, like with Colin Kaepernick right now, if a white guy did it, it wouldn't be much more offended. Just like then, but opposite from back then, if a white guy wrote this letter, it'd be more respected.
Our prompt says to cite text, not modern.
But I think in acting differently in the time that it was written versus today's society, being that we are today's society, I think that we can interpret more if we pull from our own actual visual evidence more than just looking for textual evidence.
Okay, turn it on.
You got 10%.
You asked a good question. And you need to talk more, get involved. I got hit the beginning. Most of the time you just stand there and watch. Okay.
I wanted to see because they kept jumping back and forth. I was trying to jump in something.
Chris said, it
I'm just gonna be calm. But yeah, I understand what you mean.
Okay, so what are you gonna do on the next one?
But like the way that you brought it up, it wasn't an answer the way but it was a good indication.
I don't want to say no more.
It would be interpreted differently because
Yeah. So how do you help her in the conversation? You already gave her. Okay.
Vocabulary has changed.
So what was one of the questions? What did you have written down? So how would that letter be interpreted? If I wrote that to you tomorrow.
What about this?
It starts going down from there, it just starts going to things like, still says serve.
Evidence, speak louder, okay, what's the, okay, so what?
I'm
Evidence.
serving, you started like, hey, we have
So,
problems here.
what was his entry point to the conversation?
Like he had like good like his part of the conversation getting like starting up, but then like he shot him down with the evidence part of it, which I was like,
Or what did he say? Because I won't know.
like he kept saying like the modern example is that if a white man were to say this, it would be more respected. I was telling him like that.
Write that down. So to jog my memory when I go back and see. What would you tell Mr.
I think I already looked up where to go to.
So instead of letting the conversation balloon, kind of like. Which I know that says that, but
Fighting for the British.
he's trying to fight for
the question that he was asking.
So, is there a way he could have guided them back? Can you say it that way? That was great.
guiding them back, like.
Like you quote you go.
They were making some relative points to modern day. Like we need to get back to text.
He found him guilty
Guiding them back. Noah, cut it out.
No,
he could tell the whole nation.
Because guiding them back with questions that were on the topic, like you aim them back.
Miss Harrison, that is not a panda, that is a polar bear.
Aim questions, so instead of way out in the left field, bring it back to center plate.
So in other words, instead of just jamming on the dot before the break.
What about better with textual evidence?
Gently guide them back. Here's the text. It's kind of more like, hey, let's go in this kind of direction back.
You could have but I know next time just try to jump in more.
What are you even talking
Well, not cutting off. That was, it was some pauses in there, but that was that's a great example of synthesizing, because you took something else from what you read, you brought it into the same text. And that's a great example of synthesizing.
So we got 2 more questions. Oh,
You gonna make it?
probably it's the holding this up part. I'm good with the standing.
No, I'm talking about, I'm gonna make the battery life.
Oh, probably, maybe not.
Alright, switch!
Yeah, Ian, represent that Superman.
With Under Armour.
Plug in.
I'll find me somewhere.
Oh, thank you. That might get us a little. Alright. Here's down on question 3. Alright. You may begin.
Alright, who wants to read the question?
I will. Okay, so Benjamin Banneker's letter to Thomas Jefferson reads, Sir, I freely and cheerfully acknowledge that I am of the African race. And it later reads, this, sir, was the time when you clearly saw into the injustice of the state of slavery. Why does Banneker's tone shift, and how does this affect his argument? So, he's saying that he is African, and he is proud of that. And Jefferson, he's trying to get Jefferson on his side by sympathizing with him, like, he's bringing up points like, you clearly saw it, and his tone changed because he's like, at the beginning, he's more respected, but then now he gets into his argument, and so he's more treating him as his equal instead of as earlier he was treating him as his higher power.
And like what Kaylee said, like he started off nice, so he would actually start reading the letter, not just start off blunt and throw the layers.
And I agree with Kaylee also, but also if you read, like for my evidence, I said you had just apprehended of the horrors of this condition, and in which your tender feelings for yourselves will engage you thus to declare. So basically, he's telling Jefferson, I know you're the president, but you know what's going on. You see the horrors around you, but you have the power to put your hand down, but you're not doing it. So he's kind of, his tone goes from, you need, like, I respect you, but I don't at the same time, because you're not acting like a president. You're acting like a coward kind of. See, that's a good point, because, I mean, that's basically what had happened, and that's like, in today's time, a lot of people, they are the president, and they know And that's what has happened a lot in history and with slavery, because a lot of people were too scared to step up and take part.
Yeah, I agree with what you were saying, like how he said he's proud he's black, and Jefferson clearly could, I mean, there's no way he couldn't see how bad slavery was. I mean, he was the president of our country. And it's like, it's kind of a shame because it's like 100 years before, you know, slavery was abolished, and people didn't get the message that Banneker was saying. And it just proves how, like, the white people, like, especially even the president, they didn't really care enough to get rid of slavery. They just decided to go on with it and leave stuff as it was.
And see in paragraph 12, he says, by recommending to you and all your others to wean yourselves from those narrow prejudice. So he even goes further into explanation, saying, like, get away from that. It's, you need to, you've respected these prejudices, but now you need to realize that they are not right. Chauncey, what do you think?
I want to add on to what Alice said. I understand from where she was coming from. It was like a shame, the fact that he was president and he understood how the African American race was abused back then. And not only was he wanting sympathy, I felt like he was wanting understanding. Like, you're reading this letter and I'm expressing my feelings to you, so hopefully you understand what we're going through. And it's like, but yeah, basically he wants sympathy and understanding, basically.
So do y'all all think that this helped supported his argument, or how do you think that it affected it?
Probably.
Okay, just go.
I was gonna say it probably helped his argument because it made him read the whole letter, not just part of it.
Candace?
I just know he's trying to appeal to him, but he's also saying that I'm not under the state tyrannic rule for Ramadan. Paragraph 7, if you want to look at that. He was also saying that he's not under slavery or under anyone's control. He's poking shots at him, telling him that he needs to change something. Because 9, sir, how pitiable it is to reflect that although you are so fully convinced of the beloved, blah, 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 blah. If you want to read that, go ahead. It's another way.
It kind of seemed like me. Like, right after he said, sir, I am cheerfully acknowledge that I am an African race and that the color is natural to them, the deepest dye. After that paragraph, he kind of starts like roasting him. He's like, you clearly saw the injustice of the state of slavery, the horrors of its condition, the abhorrence therefore, and great violation of liberty. He really starts laying into him right after that. So I think he kind of just like, because in the first 4 paragraphs, he's like really servitude talking to him. He's like, I'm gonna massage you up, but then after that, I'm gonna burn you. And he's like, it's like, in the first 4, he's like, where is it? Dignified station in which you stand. Not that one, wrong one. And he just starts massaging his ego up. And as soon as after that paragraph, he's like, okay, now we're getting down to the meats and victuals of it. And he just starts laying into him about how bad slavery is and how he has not done anything to help stop it or anything.
Yeah, like, I agree with all of y'all. I was saying, like, he starts off writing the letter nice, and then he starts talking, like, slowly talking about how he knows that he sees how unfairly the slaves are being treated now. He's just sitting there and he's not doing anything. And like in the passage in paragraph 7, it's talking about this star was the time when he clearly saw the injustice of state of slavery. So he's saying, you saw how bad this is treated and you're not doing anything to help it. And it's just like trying to figure out how much to do it.
Okay. Turn to talk.
You know, he wrote this in the, like, 1700s. About 100 years before, well, about 90 something, 80 people. So
slavery abolished. It took that long.
So what feedback do you have?
Like, Jefferson,
You did really good.
like, other.
I want to watch it.